Sunset Strip, that's over.
Antoine, Antoine.
Hello.
How you doing, Antoine?
Bonjour,
Fantastic. Trying
Antoine.
to. Bonjour, Sarah. Hi, Brit.
Okay.
Hi, how you doing?
Brit,
Good
Brit
to meet
wanted
you.
to recording for I can be on the interview. I said I better in the shadow. But Antoine,
No, we
remember,
always need to have Sarah.
listen, you have to call me.
If we can talk just afterwards, if you want to. What do you
You
think?
can. Okay. I think that if you don't do it, it's going to be bad for you. Okay, I
As
love
soon as
you.
we hang up, we can talk to each other. My pleasure.
Okay. Brit,
Nice
maybe I
meeting
will
you.
come later.
Okay.
Maybe.
We'll,
Okay.
we'll probably go about a half hour, just in about half hour.
Okay, you have 40. I give you 45 minutes. Is okay?
Perfect, 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 perfect.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, bye. I'll let you with Chris.
Okay.
Hey,
We'll get
Brit.
Bye.
So
How you
good to
doing,
meet you.
Antoine? Nice to meet you, man.
Fantastic. I need to check my sound because for some reason, oh, the mean man is here.
There he
Here I
is.
am. Here I am. What's happening? Got to adjust this fucking thing.
Just
Yeah. I always have hard time to find the right frame, but that one is good. I can put less slides,
no, you're great,
probably.
man. You're great. It's about the story, and we see both you guys.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
sure.
it's about the story, man.
Just about
Yeah,
the sound,
you
however,
could make it bright like this. You know,
Fucking ghost
right?
stories in the woods. We go the
I
Paris
like it
Witch
like that.
Project. Yeah,
I will just try another microphone and you tell me if it works better.
and
I don't know. I still don't know if Chris likes the movie. I hope he does.
Chris,
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, it's probably hard. It's different. It's like hearing your own voice back the first time in playback. But Chris, man, it did. I love this movie because, dude, you have so many loyal friends, and that you can see. That's the first thing you go. This isn't fake. From Johnny Rod, these new relationships, old relationships, just solid dudes in your life, and you seem like a solid dude to them. And music does one of two things: it either makes friendships or rips them apart. I think.
Yeah, because of the money and the egos and well, that's what rips it apart. But all the people that Antoine went and filmed are my close friends. You know, everybody's a friend of mine that I consider a friend. If there was somebody in there that wasn't a friend, I'd say, Antoine, don't put him in there.
Yeah, it's the real deal. Not just sort of like they're my friend. Like you and Johnny Rod seem like you. That's a brotherhood. Let's talk brotherhood almost more than just
I,
friendship.
out of everybody in W.A.S.P, to me, he's probably one of the funnest guys, the coolest guys in the band. You know, that I toured with and had a good time with. I love the guy. He's a he's always on 10. You know, and
Yeah.
Johnny he was in so much. He always got in so much trouble and made me. I couldn't get in no for trouble. Being around him was great. You know, but that's his personality. It's just the way the guy is. You know, the more and he's a great entertainer. The more eccentric people are on stage, the more
Yeah.
they are off stage.
Yeah.
You
Man,
know,
I love that at the end of every part of his interview, he breaks into a great smile and a great laugh. Just total joy at the end. And that's what I mean. You just know it's real, man. You
yeah,
just it showed us a piece of you and your brother. You couldn't fake that. But when people see this film, you just know that's not fake. And the real anchor beyond the brotherhood of this film is Sarah. Where did you meet Sarah, your wife? I mean, she's such an anchor in this thing, man. She's awesome.
I ran into her in L.A. I was at the NAM show. I was playing a gig somewhere, and I've met her a few times before. And then we just at one show we just hung out, and then stayed together since then. You know, I like her because every other woman that I've ever been with in my life
Right.
before, all they do is what about me? It's me, me, me. Fuck you. Excuse me.
No,
Screw
no, go
you.
on. I love it. It's with there's a
It's
lot of
all,
evil women in Hollywood.
it's all about me, me, me. Fuck you, Chris. I don't give a shit about your career or what you do. And that's including Lita Ford, my first wife, and all of them. Okay, they're all just, and they didn't give a crap about my career. You know, in fact, it made me sick. And then Sarah did. she goes, you know what, we could do this or we could do that. We can. If I didn't have her, I wouldn't have went to Finland at first. I'd have been scared to get on a plane by myself. I would have. You know, I went to Moscow a few times by myself, but yeah, she does all the stuff that I can't do, and we're a team.
It seems like being a dude that's done my Hollywood time, she takes the ride, she lets you be you, but she knows when to give you the pull aside and be like, come on, pull it in a minute here, buddy.
She keeps me from saying evil things, like, you know, like you. There's a lot of things that I would say that I shouldn't say, so I don't.
yeah.
You know, and it's just trying to keep me, you know, in line on certain things, and for yeah.
Now, with all this love from these friends, and what I love about actually your new music and the Under the Influence record, which the song Under the Influence says it all, man. I mean, that song says so much about you. It's a window into you. People should hit that song because it's just a window to. It's this whole interview, basically. That song. You remind me of a modern Lemmy. You know what I mean? Under the Influence. I mean, I think it says your whole story of where you're at, man. It's a beautiful introspection into everything that's going on.
Yeah. That's you mean the songs off of my new EP that came out?
The EP, yeah.
Yeah, it's Under the Influence.
I mean, you're not bullshitting. You say fuck my ex-wives. I've made bad decisions. It's all there under this molten music, man.
That's an EP to the LP I'm finishing, and the LP is going to be called Unbearable Influence. Man. That's what I consider myself. Yeah, but it's you know, I read the comments on a lot of stuff that people say. There's some people that say that, you know, don't ever take the mic from Chris. Don't ever let him sing. Hey, those people can take it and shove it up their ass, because I'm going to sing if they like it or not. That's too bad. I ain't that good of a singer, but I like to express what's in my head and the ideas that I have. I love it.
Oh, it's honest. I mean, those people, a lot of people are chained to something that was 30, 40 years ago when they were in their prime. So they're chained to that vision of you. And I want to see them go back 34 years, see their hairstyle. 40 years ago, I was calling bomb scares into my school. You know what I mean? I don't want to be held to that. You know what I mean?
Well, and they're always going to judge what I do against what I've done in my life. And, you know, I will say Black, he is for heavy metal, he's probably one of the top 10 singers that's probably ever been in heavy metal, like Rob Halford, you know, Brian Johnson and all those people. He's one of those people. He's got an outrageous voice, but they always, you know, always judging what I do against that, and I can't get away from it. And that's just too bad, but I do my own thing, you know.
But I feel from you like a Zach with Black Label, a Lemmy vibe. Like it's an honest journey where those guys go there. That's what I feel like your music. And it's funny because in the crowd, I see so many Motorhead garments. Like, I feel like that torch could easily go to you because there's a lot of Motorhead fans in there and they understand where this whole thing's going.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
But that's, I think,
without Antoine, he came in, he helped me do the first video, you know, and came in, you know, he's got the cameras and all that crap. And then he filmed the first show I ever sang.
I saw that. It's on the movie, Antoine. That was beautiful. Yeah, how you were invasive, but not too invasive.
We try not to be too invasive. But in the beginning, I think Chris was maybe not reluctant, but he doesn't like cameras and he doesn't like people all around. But you have to do such movie. You have to get familiar. You have to know each other, because that's when you're going to get more in-depth interview, to learn more about the people. You need to gain trust and confidence. You need to make people understand that you're not going to try to steal moments and to use them against the people. That you need to show that you're working together. And I think both Chris and Sarah, they quickly understood that we were a team and we were going to help each other to provide the people, the audience, with the best outlook on Chris's life since he's in Europe trying to build his new band again. And to come back to the title, I think it's true to say that it's like the new Lemmy, since Lemmy isn't here anymore. Because
easily honestly, could be if people knew about this and enough people see he is.
Honestly, I think Chris is one of the last rockers ever, because this type of rock and rollers, I don't think no one will ever see again. There's such an history, such a cultural moment that he was a part of, and he still embodies this to this day. And that's why I think we were fortunate to be able to follow them for 5 years. I still thank you, Chris, for giving us so much access, so much freedom. They have been very, very positive and helping us towards this. And that brought us back to this first concert. And honestly, I was like everyone, because Chris, as a singer in the beginning, you say, no way, that's not possible. Because you're used to W.A.S.P, you're used to melodic vocals. And honestly, this first concert, we just got goosebumps instantly because, again, there's a vibe, a unique vibe.
Yeah.
Chris is quite often talked about for his guitar tone, because obviously he's one of the ultimate lead guitar players ever, and he has really a distinctive tone and the way he plays. But the vocals are very, very personal as well. And I think the blend, the mixture of all that, you have to. So some people don't get it because it's really an experience that I hope everyone can have, just to go to a Chris show and to feel it, like the good old days and the rock and roll way. You have to be there. It's I never heard a concert of Chris that was recorded or mixed properly or filmed properly. We filmed many live versions of Chris's, but it's not really close to what you experience when you get there.
And let me ask you a question. Mean Man, this movie, that was the title, and I expected Chris can be nasty. He's self-aware, but it's the last thing. This guy's like a Springsteen or a man of the people with the fans. How did that title and all the fuck yous on the back of the vests? I'm like, it's really not what it's about. It couldn't be further from that, Chris. How'd you guys go with Mean Man?
Because fourth studio album, fifth album from W.A.S.P. There was a live one, but the fourth studio album, The Headless Children, there's a song called Mean Man written about me. Oh,
it's fierce. It's fierce.
Okay, and that song's written about me. So, Randy Piper, he did a band called Animal.
I remember Animal, yeah.
W.A.S.P. had a song, Animal. And 6 years ago, I was using CHP, which stood, remember Chips? Ponch
Ponch and John, dude. That's originally Outlaw movie. Fucking Leaf.
Yeah, I used CHP, Chris Holmes project. And then when I got to Europe, I was like, nobody knows what CHP is. So it's kind of.
Oh, yeah.
And I said I should use Mean Man. Everybody that knows W.A.S.P. that's heard any W.A.S.P. They'd know who that's about. So I just used Mean Man. So.
It makes sense. Hey, how good was Chips, Chris? Chips was pretty mean and pretty rock at the time. I remember watching. It was a pretty mean California show. That was my window from Jersey to California.
Yeah.
Man.
Cal, you got to remember, Hollywood is Stencil Town.
Yes. Stencil?
It's Stencil Town, meaning everything you see there is fake. It isn't real. I was born there.
Insane. Yeah.
Van Halen came up there. They weren't born there, but they were there when they were kids, 6 growing up. Nothing they ever did was fake. Nothing. And people that are from there, that are born there, usually aren't fake.
Okay, that makes sense. Yeah.
And then you get this bands from the East Coast to me that are fake.
Right. Okay. Like.
Simmons, that's not, you take all that crap off him, and that's it. I don't know his real name, but he's not Gene Simmons either when he gets off stage. All Twisted Sisters the same way, all those bands. And then the LA bands are a lot different. It's what they're usually, what they are is what you get.
Yeah. This is a fantasy. This is like they're not living it, as opposed to someone like you. So you could see. I was definitely evident in a lot of these type guys and guys you have played with, where that they're not the real deal. It's a fantasy that and a character they make, whereas you are who you are. You know what I mean?
I watched the thing with Meatloaf doing an interview, and he was talking about how before he goes on stage, he has to put his mind into this character and become this character. I go, man, I wouldn't even want to play music if I had to do that. It's not worth it, because it's not coming from the heart. I wouldn't even play if you had to come in and be something else.
Yeah.
And so, even the people I played with in W.A.S.P. are like that.
Yeah.
and then they're completely a different person when they're off stage. It's two different things. But if you go to play music from your heart,
Yeah.
how do you pull that out of a character? You can't. You can't.
No. I just had one of Slash's friends on the show, and he was talking about how Slash was the same guy in grade school. His BMX bike was the same guy he is to this day. He's just been always same clothes, same everything. He's just the same dude.
Right.
Antoine, what was your goal with the film? What did you really want to bring across? Because did these things evolve as they go. There's only so much you can plan with a guy like Chris, and I love where it went and all the pieces you put together in this story you shaped. Was that your original vision, or did it shape as you filmed it?
His goal was to have that thing go double platinum and end up at the Cannes Film Festival walking down the red carpet with a smile on his face. Right, Antoine?
Of course, from the very
Right?
first day, this is something we hoped. No, actually, we just wanted to share the story and to hope that we could share it with as many people as we could. But as you say, I think the story builds from itself. My first approach, I'm a fan like anyone else, so of course I was more interested into the W.A.S.P history. But then you get to learn much more when you walk along Chris, and I discovered his childhood music, his childhood influences, all the Pasadena scene he was part of. Because people talk about Van Halen, but the whole vibe there is maybe less known. And of course, there was Buster Savage, which was the previous band he had, which I was quite surprised to see had some influence as well. Thanks to Bob Nalbandian, we found some wonderful interview of Joey Vera from Armored Saint.
Yeah.
And we learned that he was at one of the first Chris Holmes concerts with Buster Savage, which I think is awesome because to this day, he still has amazing memories of that show. And then way long after, Chris formed a band called Psycho Squad during the grunge days, which I think is a quite interesting story in itself.
I like that band. Yeah, that in the video, it was really cool to see.
Amazing band. And then he came back to W.A.S.P, then he left again. So all the ups and downs as well. I think it always comes back to your first teenage love for a band. And of course, when we were all teenagers listening to W.A.S.P, we had one ultimate goal, which was that we all want to be rock stars. We all want to be guitar players in front of the stage, and because we're going to have a wonderful time, we're going to rock, we're going to meet women, we're going to have big parties. So that's the dream that everyone dreams about. But then when you talk to Chris, and that's what I loved about the man, is that he lived all of that. He experienced way more than any one of us will experience in our human lives.
Yeah.
But yet, once all this stopped for some reasons, still he managed to hang on to life, to keep playing guitar, to keeping his flame and his inner fire intact. And to this day, Chris didn't change a bit. He still wants to play guitar and is still happy and enthusiastic just by the fact of going up on stage. And I think whether he's going to play in front of 100 people or 10,000 people doesn't matter. And that's, I think, what makes Chris unique, is he always kept this passion. And I think it's interesting to show to people that, yes, we can all dream of the rock star cliche, but I think the real rock music is much more than that. And when the movie finishes, that's something that you have inside of you growing, I think.
And I think that anybody can play the front. I call it the front nine and the back nine. Everybody has their front nine, and like the first 9 holes you cruise through. It's how do you handle those back 9? And so many guys even die on them. And Chris is playing these back 9 amazingly to me. It's like second career.
That's true. And actually, what I think one of the best compliments we have is that when the movie finishes, most people that feel like they became friends and really familiar with Chris. As well. That's what makes it interesting.
How do you feel about all this, Chris?
I was just thinking when who got me singing and doing my first record was Filthy Animal Taylor from Motorhead. He's the one that took the time, and we were in his apartment in LA and working on songs and this and that recording, and I was just thinking about he was always recording. He had a VHS and had one of his mini tapes and this and that. He was into that. He even went to Denver to see his friend around Christmas time, and he's filming himself in his Corvette. Shows the speedo, it's doing 150, 140, and he shows the road and he shows his face. He's laughing, you know. But him and I never filmed ourselves recording, or both of us together. I don't know why. Maybe it's because we thought that he'd never get sick. If I'd known what was going to happen with him, I probably would have. But I don't have any film of us messing around. It's kind of a drag, you know. But he passed away. You know, if it wasn't for him, Filthy, I wouldn't be doing what I'm doing.
Well, it's
Guaranteed.
beautiful in the film. You talk about I'll let people watch the film. You talk in the film about the last time you see him. It's funny that there are pictures, but it felt like film to me. Just the way that Antoine brought that whole section across was chilling to me. You guys talk about the pat on the head, and I'm not going to give it away, but it was beautiful the way Antoine did that. It felt like film, but I guess it wasn't.
Yeah. It just shows the pictures, you know. It's yeah.
You know, Chris doesn't easily show his feelings, but yeah, I could feel at that time that he was really affected by Phil passing away. That was just the fact was that we just met for an interview, and I think it was maybe 2 days after he passed away, so it was really still a shock.
Yeah, you feel that Chris is just such a real dude. Chris, we're talking about Van Halen. I read the book where Eddie Van Halen was saying you loaned him a guitar and he ripped out the pickups or some shit like that. Did that really happen?
Yeah, I had this Ibanez Destroyer. I bought in about 6 months after he had bought one.
Right.
Okay. And it wasn't a Gibson Explorer; it's an Ibanez. It's a cheaper model, but it's still good. And he had cut a V out of his in the bottom to change the sound of his guitar.
Okay.
And he couldn't glue it back in. I don't know what he did. He actually drilled holes and sawed through to the hole. That's how he cut it out.
Uh-huh.
And I miscalculated a corner on my motorcycle and crashed, and I was in the hospital. And he came in. It was after his first album. He was getting ready to do his second album. And he asked if we were talking to me, blah, blah, blah. And he says, "Hey, can I borrow your guitar to record on the record?" I go, "Yeah." And when I got it back about a year later, he was already gone on the road. But I went over and he gave me one of his guitars so I could play.
Right.
I only had one at the time. When I got mine, the pickup was out of it. The bridge was off it. And half the stuff was just, it was sitting in the little case inside the guitar. It was in there, the stuff, but he'd taken everything apart.
Amazing, man.
But I don't really care. It doesn't bother.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're childhood friends,
That's
But
amazing.
It's a great that. With those, you know what I gotta say about Van Halen? What they did, him and his brother, will never, ever be done in the history of this world. Going from where they were to how big they were, nobody will ever do that again. I don't care who you're talking about; it'll never be done again, like what they did. And to touch as many people as good as Ed is. The only people that really know how good the guy is guitar players, but he's like one of the best there ever was.
And just brought sheer joy to so many people, man.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
When you go to a Van Halen concert, they didn't go to see Dave or Mike or his brother Al. They went to see Ed play guitar.
Dude, a guitar. And there's that one picture where it looks like he's walking up the fucking wall and it looks like he's flying. You know what I mean? Just like, holy shit. Is that Sarah over there? Is Sarah going to pop on for us? Is she?
Sarah!
Let's see if we can get her on. She's such an anchor in this film. Looked like she was almost going to pop on. Hey,
she doesn't like doing this.
Okay, if she pops on, we'll interrupt.
Here. She was looking for you.
No.
Come here. Yeah, he wants to talk to you.
She's very shy, but
Let's
most people don't realize how important she is to Chris's career.
Sarah, she's right there. Sarah, how did you you were such an anchor in this film, being Chris's wife. How did you feel about that?
What? Listen, I didn't hear what you said.
you were such an anchor in this film, and I love how you let Chris do his thing, but you know right when to pull him in when he's going too far. Like when he starts taking his shirt off and showing the tattoos in the middle of the cafe, you're just like enough, and you control this large beast. What is the secret to that? Because you're such an anchor in this film.
Antoine, can you answer for me? I don't
Ah,
know.
you have to answer the.
You know, is he have his job, I have mine. Mine is to protect him, to protect Antoine too.
I love
You
it, and
know?
you're so protective in it. It's beautiful.
Yeah, I'm not. I love to put people in the light. I don't like to be in the light.
I've noticed. I've noticed. Do you remember when you first met Chris?
Oh yeah.
Where? Just tell us that story, then I'll let you off the hook. Tell us the first time you met Chris. Look at that smile.
No, we saw each other on a sunset trip many times, but I think he needed time for understand my perfect broken English.
That's okay.
Yeah, and and one night he had to play for a show before the NAM,
Okay.
and we starting to talk each other. We left and talk each other like we know each other forever, and we never.
We went by Filthy's house. That
We
night.
go to Filthy to see Filthy after, and we never leave each other. It's 9 years we are together, 24 hours on 24 hours.
That's
We
awesome.
work together. Sometimes he want to kick my butt.
It looked like you run a
Sometimes I
tight
would
ship.
love to kick his butt, but we love each other. It's like two souls who met.
I can
And
see
that's
you
all.
that emanate that comes off the film when you guys are eating with the dog. You just feel so much love off you and Chris and all your friends. I just wanted to thank you. And so, because you're such a big part of this film, it's really cool. I'm glad you were able to pop on.
It's important to know that without Sarah, people would never ever be able to watch this movie because she has been the driving force behind it, and she always pushed. She helped us. She opened the doors. She many things couldn't have been able without Sarah's involvement. So people need to thank Sarah.
Well, thank you, Sarah, and thank you for popping on.
Can you wait a little for your check, please?
and you need to show us. I think the third family member is here as well because I saw Hug, and Hug is a big star in the movie.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Brit, you need to meet Hug as well.
Okay, I remember. I was scared for him in the movie when Chris was picking him up. Such a great movie.
But we adopted Antoine. He's a part of the family now.
Yeah, they have two dogs. They got Hug and they got me.
There you
Yeah.
go. Oh, there you go. How far do
Yeah,
you guys live apart from each other?
He live
They
in
live,
Paris. Go on. Go, Antoine, go.
yeah, no, I'm in Paris, and they both live in Cannes, but it's not that far. France is a very small country, so you take the train for 3 hours and you can meet each other, which is quite convenient. But they live in actually the place where they live in Cannes. It looks like California. You got palm trees, you got the sun, you got nice weather, so they are quite lucky.
I saw
Paris
them
is-
walking around.
It's the most difficult thing with Antoine is to
She hates
To
my
equal
guts. She's
you.
not going to say it, but
he call you. You know when sometimes he can take a mouth. We talk a lot by almost every day by text, but for have him in the phone is very difficult.
Man.
Okay,
so
I let
life,
Brit. I talk as
You
I
did, you
promised.
did. We got you. So everybody gets to see the second star of the movie. We're happy. They're going to be happy because they get to watch this, then watch the movie. We're going to bring this movie to so many people. I thank you so much, Sarah.
Yeah, and you will have the follow of the second documentary.
Yes, yes.
Tell me you love my broken English.
I
will
love
make-
your broken English. I love your
Thank you
broken
so much.
English.
I feel good now.
All right. All
Okay,
right.
I'll let you use Chris and Doug.
We'll
Thank
just
you so much.
Thank you. 2 or 3 more questions for Chris, and I'll let everybody go. And
Okay.
Antoine.
I don't know why people say that the French accent in English sounds sexy and cool. I hate it. I hate the way French people speak English, but we
Thank
never
you.
manage to speak English properly. No, it goes for me as well.
I will remember that.
No, it's the same for me. Yeah,
There's
as
the
is here.
star. There's the third
Got
star of
here.
the film. There we go. There we go.
You can see you can see his poop in the very beginning. I think it's the best introduction for a movie ever.
Love
You're
it.
my little French dog, Cat.
Oh my God.
I love
Love
this
it.
dog. He's great.
I could tell. And in the film, everybody's gonna get it. You,
He's great.
So I had a thing that was really thinking of watching you because another guy that I heard was kind that when you really read about wasn't the beast that people made out to be, was Morrison. And you and Jim Morrison both end up, and he didn't do as well as you did, but did you ever think about that? Because when I went to Paris, I had to go by all the Morrison places where he lived and just thought about how he went from Hollywood to Paris. It was such a wild journey. And you're the only one that's really taken that same journey as a rock guy.
All the scene and the bullshit and the crap, and I think he thought he didn't want to go to jail for that stupid thing he did in Florida, right?
Yeah.
You know, but that's the difference between me and Morrison. I'll go do my time and then I get out.
No, I actually think he was chasing his girlfriend, which was sadly, and she didn't seem like she was too cool to him. I think he was chasing a girlfriend, and just that he went from Norton in Hollywood to there. He seemed like such a loving, good guy. The more you follow his trail, and he just ended up in a bad place out there, man.
Yeah, had a heart attack or however he passed away.
I mean, he asked his band two things: never use my music in a commercial, never, and if I die, give all my money to Pamela. And they did neither. They fucked him on both, and he split all his money 4 ways, and for all that, that's how they rewarded him. Kind of weird.
I'd use my money in a commercial, make the money out of it. I'd use my music. I'd love that.
They said they were going to put using a Buick Skylark commercial. So when they were going to do it, he said, "That's fine. I'll smash a Skylark on stage every fucking night if you use it in the commercial." So one W.A.S.P question that I've always wondered: when you wrote that Wild Child riff, which is just the most chilling riff to me, where were you at, and how did that come about? The Wild Child riff.
It's the intro riff or the whole melody of the song.
Whatever you want to tell me about, because you co-wrote that jam. I want to know your place in that amazing jam.
Just sitting in rehearsal, we got an idea. Yeah, here's an idea. I got this idea. Then you go the tempo with the drums down, and go in this key, and then change the D here and just write it that way. I used to take songs and change them and play them my way. The Love Machine was played different in W.A.S.P, completely different. And then I told Blackie I wouldn't play it that way.
Oh
I think the way, because you can look it up. He does it on Circus, this actual song Love Machine.
Right.
And I told him I wouldn't play it that way. I don't play guitar like that, and I'm not going to play the song. It just doesn't vibe with the way I feel. And he's like, how would you do it? Gets all, I just remember it. How would you do it? And I says, this is how I would do it. I'd play, and I'd take the guitar completely out and have the singing with the bass, and then bring the guitar in, because guitar comes in, it'll be twice as loud. And then LO, dun dun, but it's just different. In W.A.S.P, you can tell the writing up the Headless Children, and it changed.
Yeah. Dude, that Wild Child riff, did you know that was that special as it came out? Did you know? No.
It's just a riff. It's a down. It's basically the melody between the guitars and the vocals, on that song.
Antoine, one of the genius things of this film, and this is where we can even end on this, that why people have to see it and why I think it's going to have a later shelf life where people will hit this later, which is what's great about things being on Amazon. And we'll put links to it. You kept it nice, like a good album. It's short and tight. I watched it twice because so many of these things are so fucking boring. I don't want to hear about, I carried my lunchbox to school and my daddy was mean to me. Too long. It's just like, boom, you get it. How did that? Was that your genius or what? Because some of these things are so long and boring. I'm like, I've watched it twice already. It's like a great album.
Actually, I think you nailed it. I think in this time and place and technology, people are more and more used to seeing short things. The attention span is getting shorter and shorter. And at the same time, we need to develop things a little bit. But for this type of movies, and I've watched hundreds of music documentaries, and I'm like you, I hate it when it gets past 1 hour and 20 minutes because in the end, you got all the information, you got all the live sequences, you got all the archive footage stuff. You don't need more, and you don't need to do length just for the purpose of making a long movie uh, out of it. Because honestly, most of the documentaries, no, it might sound arrogant, but most of the movies I see, sometimes near the middle, I just kind of fall asleep
Oh,
and
I'm
I
with you.
get bored.
Tapped out. I've
And,
watched this one.
I want to stop, and usually it takes me twice to watch a movie because I need to get focused again. And what I think we wanted to have some impact as well. And I think this format is for me the best. You don't need to lay things too much. You don't need to say most of the documentaries you're going to tell 5 times about the same thing, same stuff.
Oh,
You see someone telling something, someone telling the other thing. I think what was cool, we got very lucky because we worked with an editor. She's called Sophie. She's French and she's used to doing many other types of documentaries. But she was really uh, very important in the
yeah, it's
way that
edited great.
she managed to help us to take our writing to a completely different level, and that applies to I'm used to producing many interviews for the from of music as well, and nowadays I know it's a blessing because anyone can do interviews now. We can have really cheap cameras, cheap equipment, which is good because more and more people can have access to it.
Right.
But I think that sometimes
Yeah.
you lose the energy, and when you watch interviews of people and they last like 30 minutes,
Oh, yeah.
may,
No, even something you did,
you
which you don't do the full songs. I love that. I don't care whether it's Led Zeppelin. I don't want to see the full song when I'm watching a documentary. And you see, Chris, we get it, and then we get the crowd, and that's what
yes,
I love.
and even believe me, I wish sometimes they could be shorter, but at the same time, I knew that some of these music sequences are not known to people, and I wanted people to hear Chris music much more. But yeah, I think I'm really proud that you said that because it's really an accomplishment for us to be able to have such a short format, but at the same time, it's like a movie. I think you need to have
71 minutes. You're tight. You're tight. It's
yeah,
over an hour. And we see the crowd. I love that you feel Chris's fans, those front row shots, the guy falling down. You see what it's about. You see that there's a Motorhead aesthetic in his crowd. That's what I think so
yeah,
beautiful.
and you know the funny thing is most people because some people over the internet they like to have fun and they like to make fun of Chris. And for most people, they approach the movie in the beginning like it was going to be some kind of Anvil 2 with
Yeah,
Chris being the hero. And for some reason, Anvil is a really good movie, but some people watch it to make fun of the guys, and I don't like to make fun of people.
yeah,
And for me, music is really serious. I want to honor music because I
totally.
think
Not ironic.
uh, heavy metal music and W.A.S.P music brought so much to me that
Mhm.
I felt it was the good opportunity to use my tools to give something back to the music and to the history of Chris. And that's what people I think in the beginning they want to watch the movie and they think okay there's going to be a fun moment because for some reason we don't like Chris singing or he's not a top rock star anymore living in a huge mansion. And in the end I think no one can say that Chris is the most cool guy ever. I think no all people need to say that. Sorry for my I'm trying to make
Mm.
English sentences but I'm French. And yeah, everyone at the end of the movie is convicted that just Chris is the real deal, and that's I think the best accomplishment we could do with the movie.
Totally. And Chris, it led me to the EP, which is realer lyrics than Wasps have ever had. Wasps a little fantasy. I love Wasp, but it's more like I'm taking a journey with you. When I was in high school, I like Wasp, and I could relate with that. But this record really lets us in your head, which is what everybody from Bob Dylan to Springsteen, you take the journey with an artist. That's what I'm into.
Yeah, yeah. Most of the early WA stuff is about Blackie's penis and sex with chicks. It's what's I'm a wild child. All the songs are like but I I just write songs about my past experiences. My favorite song is "The Devil Made Me Do It." You know,
The opener on the EP, the opener, first song.
yeah. It's just my favorite because of what it's about going to court, the judge, the cops chasing you or whatever. But just living in LA. You
Yeah,
know.
man.
You know, it's funny. I got to tell you,
We lost him.
the documentary, but you know, Antoine plays drums.
Oh, you do, Anton.
He,
Yeah.
and my drummer quit. The oldest one guy quit, and Antoine was going to come in and play a show.
Oh my
He
God,
wasn't.
Antoine, how crazy would
He
that have
wasn't going to
been?
actually. Didn't have plans to be actually in the band or whatever. He was just going to come and do a whole show, and then he got sick with some kind of I don't where he couldn't play. And
Oh man,
yeah,
how huge
That
But
is
was
that?
that was amazing because yeah, well, you cannot do a documentary and play with the band at the same time. But we did jam together, and believe me, when you get the chance to play, I think we play White Child, Sleeping in the Fire.
Oh my God! I mean, Antoine, like you, I'm a fan. Hearing Chris Holmes just
Honestly,
come on, hearing the guy
it's like
do
a
it.
dream come true, and I have this videotape, and I will cherish it forever because, of course, I sucked, but Chris made me
you
feel
taped
like
it.
I was
You taped
in
you
this.
playing.
Yeah, yeah, I have it.
We taped you at rehearsal
Yeah, yeah,
playing.
I have. Well, I take myself
Oh,
because he was in the room. But yeah, I think Sarah was filming. Sarah took the camera and she filmed. And you know the most funny thing is I got the chance to meet Johnny Rod in St. Louis,
Okay.
in the US, and he was at a rehearsal with his band as well. And I don't know how we started talking about music, and I told him that I used to play the drums when I was younger, and he said, "Come on, let's play a song." And I actually played Wild Child with Johnny Rod as well,
Oh my
and
God!
that was so amazing because the man Johnny Rod is crazy, and when you play with the guy, it's like the second part of the dream come true.
Oh yeah. And Chris and John, that's how to be huge. And they both got the coolest, sharpest guitars. Both Chris and Johnny always could use their guitars double as weapons. They're always very. Chris has got those sharp Jacksons. Johnny's got that crazy bass. It's awesome, man.
And you should
Johnny,
hear
he needs a switch on his back so you can shut him off. You know, because a lot of times he's great to have around, but sometimes you need to shut him off and you can't. You know, and he'll. You know.
You guys love each other. It's all I love the brotherhood,
Yeah.
man. It's the brotherhood,
Oh, yeah.
and that bleeds in music. Well, thank you guys so much. I'm gonna put links to the film. This film will blow up, man. People are gonna see it, and it's such a great story. It's so not boring like a lot of documentaries, man. Thank you for making an exciting, great introspective film, Antoine, into someone that we've grown up on, love, and continues to do this musical journey for us. And Chris, thank you for all the music and all the music to come.
Thanks for your support.
All
Thank
right.
you so much.
Thank you guys so much, man, for being here and sharing your time with me.
Yeah.
All right.
Is that it?
That's
We
it.
done?
We're done, man.